Let's turn these skinny brows of mine into the boobs of the face that they are. And I don't normally do this for videos because it just doesn't translate well, but today I'm gonna get brave and I'm gonna zoom in and we're gonna get really up close and personal for a quick brow tutorial, and you can see what I do to make these go from an A cup to a full C. I'm gonna start with the spoolie. I usually just use the end of whatever liner or brow product I have laying around. I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Freeze, tap at it a couple of times, and then we're going to get in here and work it through. I push it backwards and forwards through the hairs. I already have a little bit in there, so I'm not putting on as much as I normally would, but you do need a considerable amount. You want to feel the coolness of the product in your brows. Then you're going to brush those hairs straight up, and it's going to take some time. You're going to have to take a couple of passes at it to get it to behave. And I think this is where most people go wrong. They just don't spend enough time in this particular stage of the process. Okay, so once they're all sticking straight up, we're going to make a V at the base of the brow with a teeny tiny brush. This is the Morphe 301, and I'm going to ignore the hairs that are there, and I'm going to imagine a line that starts just before my actual brow starts and goes straight through the brow all the way to the top of the arch. All right. Now, I make that look easy because I've done it many, many times and I have muscle memory working for me. You're going to have to practice a little bit and your line might be a little wobbly. That's okay. You can clean it up easily with a concealer brush or your finger. Okay, so there's my first line, and then the second line starts at the top of the brow and goes down the side just on top of the tail. Okay, not underneath, but on top. All right, now we're just going to go back in, pick up a little bit more product, and start making hair strokes at the base of that line, and they just shoot straight up. Fill in. I have a little scar right there, so I'm going to fill that in, put a little extra product there, and just keep making upward strokes. You want the top line to look like hairs ending right there, not a sharp line across the top. That looks unnatural, and unnatural things communicate distrust. So yeah, it really matters. All right, so there it is. Now we go back through it again. You can add a little bit more if your brows are particularly unruly. A little bit more gel might help, but you want to go all the way through your line and all the way through your hair strokes and push straight up. You can tame this on top with a concealer brush like this one if you need to, but definitely back up and check your work first. Man, that is some HD we got going on here. Now you know why I don't usually do brows on videos. You don't need to see me this close. And the first thing you should do when you back up and look into your own eyes is recognize that you're not looking for identical twins here. Everybody's got a donkey and a unicorn, and they are just sisters. It's true for everyone. No one has two perfect eyebrows. So don't get too caught up in making sure that they look identical. Just back up and ask yourself, is anything distracting you? Is anything drawing your attention away? And for me right now, that is this starting point right here is a little too rounded and a little too obvious. I'm going to take, my concealer brush with this, whatever's leftover concealer in here, and just kind of touch at it a little bit until it's not distracting. If you got a little carried away with any of your lines, you can knock those back. You can go in and clean up underneath if you really want a sharp line. A sharp line under here is okay. A sharp line on the top is not. So it should look like hair ending at the top of your brow, not a straight line. That texture is really important to other people's minds. It says that they look real, and when things don't look natural, it communicates distrust. So you can argue with that all day long, but it's affecting you as much as gravity is every day.